Ever walk through an airport and thought, something's just off? Well, Denver International Airport takes that feeling to a whole new level. From apocalyptic murals to mysterious underground bunkers, this airport is less about layovers and more about world domination. Or so the conspiracy goes. So buckle up, because we're about to dive in to the deep, sinister secrets of the most mysterious airport on Earth. Welcome back, everybody, to the Triple T podcast. I'm your host, Matt, and joining me, as always, is Luther on this episode, and I am intrigued about this one. This is an episode. This is a topic that I've heard a lot about. I've seen some other kind of shows do their take on this conspiracy theory, but I said, you know what? We might as well do our take on it. And I know Luther is super excited about this one as well. So without further ado, let's bring in the co-host, Luther Grimwood. What is up, my dude?
Hey, what's up, my dude? Ready to unravel some mysteries and drop some knowledge bombs today? Let's get into it.
I have never been more ready. It has been a wild weekend with sports and life and work and all of that other stuff that I don't think anybody cares about. So yes is the answer, I think. Yes, I'm ready. Are you ready, though? Have you been doing your research on the Denver International Airport?
You know it. I've been digging into the wildest conspiracy theories about the Denver International Airport. We've got secret underground bunkers, creepy murals, and those infamous blue Mustang. It's a rabbit hole of intrigue, and I am all set to dive in. Let's get this show rolling.
Yes, but before we do, as we have been doing in the last couple of episodes, let's give our viewers a little drink, a little cocktail for this. I know some people like to have a drink before they fly to settle the nerves. Maybe they order this at the Denver International Airport and send a picture over to our Instagram or matt@beardlaws.com, or maybe they just go ahead and have one of these. So I've got something. You want to hear it?
Absolutely. Let's hear it. What concoction are we mixing up for our listeners to sip on while they dive into the mysteries of the Denver International Airport?
All right. I want to call this one the Blucifer Conspiracy Cocktail. We're going to do 2 ounces of blue Caraco for the entire, eerie blue glow. We're going to do an ounce of vodka, fixed vodka, in my opinion, but I guess any other one will work if you're in a, little bit of a pinch. We're going to do an ounce of lime juice, a half ounce of grenadine, 3 ounces of a lemon lime soda, ice, and a little optional, you can sprinkle a little silver glitter for a touch of mystery.
Oh, that sounds absolutely epic. The Blucifer Conspiracy Cocktail is the perfect way to set the mood. That eerie blue glow with a splash of mystery is sure to keep everyone intrigued and ready for some deep dives. Let's raise a glass and get into it.
Yeah. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm gonna break this down real quick. Just prepare the glass. Let's do that as if maybe you've never been a bartender. You just need that quick little step by step. Just fill your rocks glass with ice. Rim the glass with that mix of salt and edible silver glitter if you would like. Give it a little metallic, little eerie touch. You're gonna mix a drink in a little bit of a shaker with the blue Caraco, the vodka, the lime juice. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Mix the colors and the flavors. Pour the mixture over the ice and slowly add the grenadine. It's going to sink to the bottom, creating a nice little red glow, kind of reminiscent of Blucifer's eyes. Gently add the lemon lime soda to give it a little fizzy finish. And then you can add a slice of lime, maybe even a cherry for a pop of contrasting colors. Serve in a dark, dimly lit setting to make the glowing blue and red hues stand out. The drink's vibrant colors are going to have contrasting layers and catch anyone's eye. Because let's be honest, one sip and you might just find yourself questioning reality, or at least craving another round.
That's a perfect breakdown. With a drink like that in hand, our listeners will be in the right frame of mind, ready to explore every twist and turn of the Denver International Airport conspiracies. Let's get into the hidden tunnels, mysterious symbols, and all those juicy details that'll keep everyone on the edge of their seats.
Let's get juicy. So I mean, let's jump right into this, my dude, because you think a building, an airport wouldn't be overly complicated, right? Wrong. Whammies. Or whatever that old show used to say. The Denver International Airport took way longer and cost way more than planned. But why?
The million-dollar question, or should I say the multi-billion-dollar question. The airport ended up costing nearly $3 billion more than expected and opened 16 months behind schedule. Naturally, that sparked all sorts of theories. Some say there are massive underground bunkers meant for government elites. Others believe it's a hub for secret societies. And let's not forget those eerie art installations and strange runway layouts. It's like the perfect storm for conspiracy theories.
It is. And to throw a little bit of, some actual facts, because, you're talking $3 billion. My first impression was like, holy cow, that is a lot of money. But then I said, all right, well, how much do airports typically cost to make? And from the information that I found, smaller kind of regional airports, they're anywhere in that 500 million to potentially $1 billion. And then you have medium sized airports that could be anywhere from 1 to 5 billion. If you get a mega hub, Miami, some other places like that, which I don't think Denver is, but maybe Denver is one of those. They can get up to $30 billion. So three isn't that crazy, right?
Exactly. When you put it into perspective, $3 billion is still a hefty sum, but not unheard of for a major international hub. The scale and complexity of the project definitely contributed to those costs and delays. But of course, that doesn't stop the rumors and speculation. After all, a little mystery makes everything more interesting, right?
It absolutely does. And just to give, a little bit of comparison, the Denver International, 3 billion. Some reports have it $4.8 billion. You have the I'm going to say this wrong, so you'll have to have my back. The Kuala Lumpur International Airport, 3.5 billion. You have the Hong Kong International Airport that was 20 billion, and New York's JFK's redevelopment, just the redevelopment of JFK, $19 billion.
Those numbers really put it all into context. When you look at massive projects worldwide, Denver's budget doesn't seem as outlandish. But the combination of cost overruns, unusual design choices, and the airport's sheer size fuels all the speculation. It's like a perfect storm for urban legends and conspiracy theories to thrive.
Yeah, in the Dubai International Airport, it's got a name that I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to try. That was over like 30 billion, almost $33 billion.
Yeah, the sheer scale and ambition of some of these airports are mind-blowing. Compared to those, Denver's budget almost seems modest. But it's the mystery and the unusual elements at DIA that really keep the theories alive. It's like a magnet for intrigue.
It is a magnet of intrigue, just like the construction of massive underground tunnels and structures, supposedly more than needed for an airport.
Exactly. Those underground tunnels are one of the biggest sources of speculation. Officially, they're just part of the baggage transport system and maintenance routes. But the sheer scale and complexity have led many to believe there's more to the story. Some say they're bunkers or shelters for the elite, while others think they're part of a secret underground network. Whatever the truth, it definitely adds to the airport's aura of mystery.
So, what are they actually? I know that they're probably trying to say, like you said, the baggage and this, and it's just a real thing. But come on, let's think outside the box, Luther. What are these structures, and what are these tunnels actually for?
All right, let's go full-on speculative mode. If we think outside the box, those tunnels could be anything from a doomsday bunker for government officials to a secret hub for clandestine operations. Some even theorize they could be part of an underground transportation network connecting various military bases. And let's not forget the wild theory that the tunnels house extraterrestrial tech or secret research facilities. Whether any of that's true or not, it definitely makes for some fascinating storytelling.
Absolutely. And I know one of the Kind of one of the biggest or one of the most well-known, I guess, legends of this is that the airport was built by members of a secret society. And you're thinking, which secret society? Well, that depends apparently on who you ask, right, Luther?
Exactly. Some say it's the Freemasons, pointing to the dedication capstone in the airport that bears the Freemason symbol and references a New World Airport Commission, which doesn't officially exist. Others think it's linked to the Illuminati, given the various strange symbols and artwork around the airport. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure of conspiracy theories, and each one is more intriguing than the last.
There's also, if you ask some people, it's the New World Order, which we've talked about in a couple of episodes, haven't we? Or perhaps, since the three groups are often maybe even linked, maybe there's just enough and they're all kind of combined. But there was a little piece of evidence, Luther, and I'm sure you know this, that, kind of supports these theories is that there was a dedication capstone at the airport's south entrance dated March 19th, 1994. It was sealed beneath the stone is a time capsule containing messages and memorabilia to the people in Colorado in 2094. And the granite marker actually depicts the square and compasses symbol of the Freemasons and the names of the two Grand Lodges and their Grand Masters.
That capstone is like a beacon for conspiracy enthusiasts. The Freemason symbols and the mysterious New World Airport Commission reference fuel speculation that there's something more going on. Whether it's just a quirky architectural feature or a nod to something deeper, it's definitely a piece of the puzzle that keeps people guessing. And that time capsule waiting to be opened in 2094, it just adds another layer of intrigue for future generations.
Yeah. And of course, airport officials, they're just saying that it's just evidence or just, it is what it is. And it's just a generosity of the local Mason lodges that crafted and just laid the stone there. After all, that's what stonemasons do, right?
The official line is that it's simply a nod to the local Masonic community and their historical involvement in cornerstone ceremonies. But when you mix Freemason symbols with a hefty dose of secrecy and some eyebrow-raising art, it's no wonder people's imaginations run wild. The airport has even leaned into the rumors over the years, making it part of their quirky charm.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, that's good for tourism. That's good for the business. But the capstone, not to go too far away from that quite yet, which we will in a minute. It also makes mention of a group called the New World Airport Commission. Unlike the Freemasons, this group doesn't actually exist, Luther, making it a little tougher to explain. What do you say about that, airport officials?
Yeah, that's a real head-scratcher. The New World Airport Commission mentioned on the capstone is like a ghost organization. No records, no official existence, nothing. It's almost like it was created just to fan the flames of conspiracy. Airport officials have said it was just a name chosen for the dedication and the people involved in the airport's opening festivities. But with a name like that, it's no surprise it's become a central piece of the puzzle for conspiracy theorists.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Oh yeah, we just came up with this committee real quick and we're going to make mentions on the ceremony thing just for the festivities of everything that's happening in 1995 when the airport opened, right?
It's almost like they were asking for these theories to bloom. A mysterious, non-existent commission name tied to a massive public works project is like a gift to conspiracy lovers. It's almost too perfect, like they wanted to give us something to chew on for decades. Keeps things interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean the rumors are too obviously the Freemasons, all of that stuff. But the stuff inside the capsule, from what I've read, it's a baseball from Coors Field, some coins, a former mayor's sneakers, some casino tokens. Nothing like super crazy. And I'd like to think I'm around in 2094 or whatever it is that we'll be able to see it. But I don't like my odds. I don't like my odds. But you should be around, right, Luther?
Hey, you never know. 2094 might just sneak up on us. But yeah, The contents of that time capsule sound pretty mundane, just a slice of 1994 life. But who knows, maybe there's a secret message or something unexpected in there, just waiting to be discovered. Either way, it's another layer of mystique for the airport's legend, and if I'm around, I'll definitely keep you posted on what's inside.
I appreciate that. Can't wait to see what Zuckerberg has for technology, so it'll look like we're actually standing right there seeing the capsule live. But anyways, speaking of all that, there's actually some, some little speculation or some conspiracy that the braille tablet above the dedication stone is actually a keypad, and that if you touch the raised dots in the correct sequence, you'll actually be able to open the time capsule. Even some current Masons seem to buy into the myth. One airport employee says she's heard reports of Masons visiting the capstone and trying to swipe their Mason membership cards near the time capsule, just in case.
Oh, that's a fantastic bit of lore. The idea that there's a secret code or some hidden mechanism is just the kind of thing that keeps the mystery alive. Even if it's probably just a regular braille tablet, the thought of secret keypads and hidden triggers makes it all so much more intriguing. And picturing Masons trying to swipe their membership cards like some secret agent move, that's pure gold. It's these little stories that turn a regular old capstone into a legendary artifact.
You aren't kidding. So if you were to guess what the combination is, Luther, of this braille tablet, let's give everybody our guess. So the next time you, me, or any of the listeners head over to the DIA, they can try to crack the capsule.
All right, let's take a wild guess. How about something symbolic? Maybe a sequence like 3194 for the year 1994 when the capstone was placed. Or maybe something cheeky like 0420, because why not? Either way, if anyone manages to crack that mythical code, they'll definitely earn some legendary status in the world of airport conspiracies.
Can you imagine if it was just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
That would be the ultimate anticlimax. All these years of speculation, and it turns out the code was as simple as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It'd be like finding out the treasure was buried in your backyard all along. But hey, sometimes the simplest answers are the most elusive. It'd definitely give everyone a good laugh, and maybe a collective facepalm.
Collective facepalm. Indeed. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about the underground bunkers, the endless tunnels, and the lizard people, because there's a lot of other legends that there are miles and miles and miles. Probably just like that song, like I would walk 100 miles or 500 miles just to be the man who falls down at your door. Calienta, calienta. No, you know what I mean, Luther?
Absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. The idea of endless tunnels beneath the airport is like something out of a sci-fi movie. People have speculated that these tunnels are home to everything from secret government facilities to, you guessed it, lizard people. The notion of an entire subterranean world beneath the airport is the kind of thing that captures imaginations. And let's face it, if lizard people were to set up shop somewhere, a massive airport with a ton of mystery would be prime real estate.
Prime, indeed. Not even Amazon Prime. It'd be called Denver Prime. Ta-da, ciao. But either way, there's also other claims that the tunnels run all the way from Denver to North American Aerospace Defense Command, otherwise known as the NORAD, which is located 100 miles away near Colorado Springs.
Yeah, that's another fascinating layer to the whole mystery. The idea of a hidden underground link between the airport and NORAD is straight out of a thriller. A secret tunnel system stretching 100 miles sounds wild, but it definitely fits into the whole bunker for the elite narrative. It's these kinds of legends that keep people wondering what might really be hidden beneath the runways.
It seems interesting that they would have all of these potentially for the elite, or even these secret societies that we've already mentioned, be able to kind of ride out a potential apocalypse that could be happening, and others they suggest that it's a lair for something supernatural, like the lizard people.
Exactly. It's like a choose your own adventure of theories. Whether it's a sanctuary for the elite, a secret military installation, or a hidden lair for supernatural beings, it all adds to the allure. The Denver airport has become a melting pot of modern mythology. And honestly, the idea of lizard people chilling under an airport is as entertaining as it gets.
I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, could in as much detail as you have, can you explain to them exactly what a lizard person is, and what fuels the speculation that they could be in these tunnels?
Sure thing. So, the concept of lizard people, also known as reptilians, comes from a conspiracy theory that these shape-shifting reptilian aliens secretly control the world. The idea was popularized by David Icke, who claimed that these reptilians can disguise themselves as humans and have infiltrated governments and other powerful institutions. As for why people speculate there could be in the tunnels under the Denver airport, it ties into the general aura of mystery and all the other conspiracy theories surrounding the place. The airport's weird art, unusual construction history, and all the secrecy have made it a perfect breeding ground for such fantastical ideas. Plus, let's be real, the thought of secret reptilian overlords hiding underground is just too fun for some people to resist.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm buying that, but if you were to guess, this is all hypothetical, this is all in just good fun, but if you were to guess, who would probably be the most famous lizard person that is obviously famous, because I said famous, but that's out there that would have really changed the world, or and that has been hiding in plain sight the whole time?
All right, going full hypothetical here. If we were to pick a famous figure that conspiracy theorists often claim is a lizard person, it would probably be someone like Queen Elizabeth II or a high-profile political leader. These theories often latch onto well-known public figures who wield significant influence. The idea is that these figures are secretly part of a reptilian elite controlling world events. But hey, it's all in good fun and speculation. No shape-shifting proof yet, just a lot of imaginative storytelling.
So Biden was a lizard person. Got it. What about this wild theory that I think got a lot of traction after Jordan Peele's 2019 horror film Us, that in those tunnels beneath the airport could or are housing a community of murderous doppelgangers that are just ready to rise out from under the earth and just take over the world?
Oh, that's a great one. The idea of doppelgangers lurking beneath the surface, just waiting for the right moment to emerge, definitely taps into some deep-seated fears. The notion that there's an entire shadow population ready to take over is both eerie and fascinating. It's like a modern twist on the old concept of an evil twin, but on a massive scale. It's just another layer of what makes the Denver airport such a magnet for these creepy and captivating stories.
Yeah, I don't like that idea at all. Could you imagine another one of me out there with another potentially decent beard, just evil, ready to do bad things, and then it could come back on me doing the bad things? I don't like that, Luther. I don't like that one bit.
Yeah, that's a pretty unsettling thought. The idea of an evil twin with a beard just as legendary, but with a sinister agenda, is definitely not something anyone wants to face. It's like a built-in horror movie plot. But hey, the good news is it's all just speculation and creative storytelling. Your beard's reputation remains one of a kind, and there's only one original you.
I like that. Thank you for, building me back up, Buttercup. And what else is wild is the airport. They do acknowledge that there are several subterranean levels beneath the main terminal, including the trains that carry passengers to and from different concourses along defunct. That could be one of my favorite words to say. Automated baggage system. They say the tunnels only extend out to the perimeter of the airport, less than 2 miles. So we got a 98-mile discrepancy here, Luther.
Exactly. That 98-mile gap leaves a lot of room for imagination. While the official story is that the tunnels are just practical infrastructure, the sheer size and complexity of the underground levels fuel all sorts of theories. It's like a built-in mystery that keeps people guessing and spinning new tales. And let's face it, sometimes the official version just isn't as fun as the wild theories.
Yeah, and they're also out there, these airport officials, which I'm wondering who they really are. They're just saying, you know what, you're just going to meet normal kind of office workers and just office or normal employees at the airport in these tunnels. You're not going to meet billionaires in ceremonial robes since, some of the underground levels host work in office spaces. And they're pretty adamant that any evidence of space aliens. It's just graffiti and mischievous employees looking to get fired and get workers comp or whatever, unemployment. And some who have been known to don lizard masks just to prank unsuspecting coworkers, members of the media, and to make a little tickety tock.
Exactly. The airport officials have definitely leaned into the humor of it all. I mean, if you can't beat the conspiracy theories, why not join in on the fun? The idea of employees donning lizard masks and playing pranks just adds another layer of charm to the whole mystery. It's a perfect example of embracing the legend and having some fun with it. After all, a little mystery and humor never hurt anyone, right?
That's what they say, and that's what I love, a little mysterious comedy humor what we got going on. But let me ask you this though. Let's get serious for a minute. I've read some things, and obviously I can't 100% say that they are all true, but there's a lot of reports, and hopefully you were able to find some of this in your research of, construction workers that were working on these projects and the tunnels and everything that were fired after completing sections because they allegedly didn't want anyone or any, group of people to know the full scope of the work.
Yeah, that's a really intriguing claim. The idea that workers were let go after completing certain sections to keep the full layout a secret definitely adds to the mystique. It's like something straight out of a spy novel. No single person knows the full blueprint. While there's no concrete evidence that this actually happened, it's the kind of rumor that feeds into the larger narrative of secrecy and hidden agendas. It's easy to see how stories like that would catch on and become part of the airport's enduring legend.
Yeah, especially I would have to imagine that the contractors, the bids, and a lot of this stuff is going to be public information that you could look up. I tried. I didn't find a lot of stuff, which probably isn't a hard. I mean, it's the '90s. There wasn't as good of documentation and everything like that. But there was a ton of different, contractors that were tasked to do pretty much the same thing, but none of whom actually had full knowledge of the project. Nobody came in, and I think that's a little bit weird. Like if you're going to come in here and win the bid and you're the contractor, you should know the full scope of the project, right?
Yeah, it definitely raises eyebrows. Typically, a contractor would have a comprehensive understanding of the project they're working on. The fact that multiple contractors were brought in for isolated tasks without the full picture just adds to the intrigue. It's the kind of thing that makes you go, what were they trying to keep under wraps? Even if there's a perfectly logical explanation, it's these little oddities that fuel the legend and keep the speculation alive.
Yeah, things that make you go, hmm. All
Exactly.
right, oops, sorry, I cut you off. That's the first time that I've cut you off today. That's not bad. We've kind of tiptoed, we've kind of danced around it, and I want to talk a little bit more in detail about the artwork. Because let's be honest, many of Denver's DENs, however you want to play this here, DIA, supposed secrets are encased in granite or buried deep underground. Others are right out in the open for everybody to see. Two pieces of art in particular have drawn plenty of interest, haven't they, Luther? One of them being a pair of 28-foot wide murals by artist Leo Tenguma.
Absolutely. Those murals are like ground zero for a lot of the speculation. Leo Tanguma's murals, titled Children of the World Dream of Peace and In Peace and Harmony with Nature, have a lot of vivid, sometimes unsettling imagery. They depict scenes of war, environmental destruction, and then ultimately global unity and peace. While Tanguma has explained that his work is about the triumph of peace and harmony over war and chaos, the intense imagery has led some to see hidden meanings, like references to a dystopian future or secret agendas. They're definitely conversation starters and a big reason why the airport is such a hotbed for these theories.
Yeah. Now, who is Leo Tanguma? Can you give our listeners a little more in depth to him? I mean, he's not a Freemason, all right? He has no connections to the New World Order that I've been able to find. Like, why was he the one, and why was he allowed to do such wild, unfathomable at this time, pieces of art?
Sure thing. Leo Tanguma is a Chicano artist known for his murals that blend social and political themes. He often focuses on issues like social justice, community, and the struggle for a better world. His work is deeply rooted in activism and storytelling, aiming to inspire hope and reflection. He wasn't chosen because of any secret affiliations. He was selected for his powerful artistic voice and the meaningful messages in his art. The airport wanted artwork that would make travelers think and feel something, and Tanguma's work does just that. While some people read deeper hidden meanings into his murals, his intent was always to convey a narrative of overcoming adversity and striving for a better future. So he's not a Freemason or part of a New World Order, just a passionate artist with a unique perspective.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it pretty perfectly. He claims that he just wanted, people of the world to live in peace, and was hoping that his messages would kind of do that. And like you said, a lot of people are more focused on, the anti themes of war, death, pollution, and environmental destruction, even claiming that the artwork contains clues and messages about the apocalypse and the inevitable rise of, the world government just taking everything over, which I could see. I mean, isn't that the point of art, though? To, be seen by several different people and have different interpretations?
Absolutely, that's the beauty of art. It's meant to provoke thought, evoke emotions, and spark conversations. Different people will always interpret the same piece in different ways, bringing their own experiences and perspectives to the table. Tanguma's murals definitely achieve that. They get people thinking and talking, whether they're focusing on the hopeful message or the darker elements. And that's the power of art. It can mean something different to each person who views it.
Yeah, and then you had Alex Sweetman's Art Chronicles, which was a photographic series that was actually documenting the construction of the airport, and it sounds pretty normal, pretty innocent, and a lot of the photos they capture scenes, serene scenes, a bison standing in a snowy meadow, field of vibrant yellow sunflowers reach into the sky. One photo of a field of dead browning sunflowers maybe left some people a bit unsettled. And, people are always asking, is it another coded message about the looming apocalypse hidden in the airport's artwork? Or was it just an ode to the changing of the seasons?
Exactly. The interpretation of something as simple as a photograph of dead sunflowers can spiral into all kinds of theories. What some see as a natural and artistic representation of the cycle of life, others might see as a grim omen. It's a perfect example of how context and atmosphere can influence what people take away from art. In a place as storied as the Denver airport, even the most innocent imagery can take on a life of its own. It just goes to show how much a setting can influence the stories that grow around it.
I mean, when you have 28-foot murals and you got all these photos that are getting a lot of attention, to me, one of the creepiest things at this airport, and again, this is just my opinion and my, personal thing, is those damn grinning gargoyles. I mean, come on, what?
I hear you. Those gargoyles definitely add a unique, slightly eerie touch to the airport's vibe. Officially, they're there as a nod to the ancient tradition of gargoyles protecting buildings, like the ones you'd see on cathedrals. They're supposed to be guardians, watching over travelers and keeping bad spirits away. But yeah, with their mischievous grins, they definitely add to the airport's quirky and mysterious atmosphere. They're another one of those elements that make people stop, stare, and wonder what's really going on.
Yeah, for anybody that's wondering where they are, there is two small gargoyles set atop columns in the east and west baggage claim. And like Luther said, they are usually, in places to, keep people safe, keep the evil spirits away. And the Denver airport, which I guess have been titled Notre Denver, is no different. They're just grinning down on arriving passengers. They're there to apparently help ensure that your luggage is safe.
That's right. They add a quirky sense of humor to the whole experience, like a whimsical nod to the old world tradition. It's almost like they're saying, "Welcome to the most interesting airport you'll ever visit." They might catch some people off guard, but they definitely contribute to the airport's unique character. Plus, who wouldn't want a couple of gargoyles watching over their luggage, right?
Right? Except for there are those people that are saying they're there for the opposite. They're not keeping people safe from the spirits. They're actually putting out evil, which I don't know. Maybe it's probably those people that have lost luggage there because that's pretty frustrating when you get to the baggage claim. You're supposed to be getting there, going to your destination, your next stop, you're going to the hotel, you're going to go enjoy a Nuggets game, whatever it is. Maybe going to, watch the Rockies give up way too many runs and then you lose your baggage claim and they're going to blame it on the gargoyles who are just sitting there smiling, laughing.
Exactly. It's a lot easier to blame a grinning gargoyle than the chaos of air travel logistics. When your luggage goes missing, those mischievous faces might seem like the perfect scapegoat. It's all part of the airport's mystique. Every little detail gets woven into the larger tapestry of stories and theories. Whether they're seen as protectors or pranksters, they definitely leave an impression and give travelers something to talk about.
Let's give them something to talk about for sure. Kind of like the cursed horse. You heard about this one? Because let's be honest, if we're going to talk about the gargoyles, we're going to talk about the paintings, we're going to talk about the murals, we're going to talk about the pictures, we got to talk about the horse.
Oh, absolutely. The infamous Blue Mustang, affectionately nicknamed Blucifer, is a legend in its own right. This 32-foot tall, blue, demonic-looking horse with glowing red eyes is hard to miss. Created by artist Luis Jimenez, it's become one of the airport's most iconic and controversial pieces. The fact that a piece of the sculpture tragically fell and killed the artist during its creation only adds to its eerie reputation. It's like the cherry on top of the conspiracy sundae that is the Denver airport.
Not only did it fall in a really unfortunate, mysterious way, but it severed an artery in the leg, which is even more like not rare, but like a feat that you, no pun intended, maybe shouldn't have said feat, that shouldn't have just caused. And oh man, but what's wild is the piece was eventually completed by his children and they unveiled it in 2008.
Yeah, that whole saga adds such an eerie layer to the Blucifer legend. The fact that the sculpture's creation was marked by such a tragic and bizarre accident just fuels the mystique surrounding it. And then having his children finish it and seeing it finally unveiled years later. It's like the statue was destined to be a focal point of intrigue. It's no wonder Blucifer has become such an iconic and chilling symbol for the airport.
Yeah, and you think the gargoyles were bad? Obviously, the tragic backstory of this. Now that we have a drink called the Blucifer that ties into this, which I had to mention the horse because the drink wouldn't have made any sense without the horse. You know what I mean, Luther? But obviously, everything that's going on with this horse has been a pretty topical conversation for myth, and people are claiming that the glowing red eyes indicate that he represents one of the steeds that will be ridden by the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So, always apocalypse with these people in the Denver airport, huh?
Yeah, the apocalyptic theories really run wild with Lucifer. The glowing red eyes definitely add to that ominous vibe, making it easy to see why people connect it to something out of a doomsday scenario. It's almost like a perfect storm of eerie aesthetics and tragic history that fuels these legends. Whether you see it as a harbinger of doom or just a bold piece of art, there's no denying it leaves an impression.
Yeah. I mean, let's throw this out there. I mean, what are they actually hiding, Luther? Because obviously when conspiracy theories they start circulating, officials are quick to dismiss not one, not two, all of them. But the way Denver Airport has handled the rumors, I feel like just adds mystery. We already kind of mentioned, and not in too much detail, about the mystery of their marketing and all of that stuff. But like, what do you think that they're actually hiding, Luther?
You know, that's the million-dollar question. The airport has really leaned into the mystique with a sense of humor, putting up signs and ads that playfully acknowledge the conspiracy theories. It's a clever way to handle it, because by embracing the rumors, they keep people intrigued and talking. But what are they really hiding? It could be nothing more than the ordinary operations of a massive airport, or maybe there's something a bit more mundane that got blown out of proportion. Ultimately, the mystery itself is probably the most valuable thing they have. It keeps people curious and ensures the airport stays legendary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm my gut says that they just went with a risky architect. Not risky is probably the wrong word. With a unique architect, and let's say Denver, and that state's a little bit different, and they're artsy and stuff like that. I think they just went and wanted to be different when they built the airport, when they decided on the artwork, and I I want to say there's man, I don't
I
know, Luther. Sorry, that's twice I cut you off. I was gonna say I don't think there's anything going on, but for me to come out here and say there's nothing going on, my gut just says no, no, no. That's not the case. I think there definitely could be something going on. I'm gonna rule out lizard people and doppelgangers, but I could easily see connections with the airport, the underground tunnels, and military and secret government ties. That's what I'm leaning towards.
That's a pretty reasonable take. Given the scale and complexity of the airport, it wouldn't be surprising if there was some kind of behind-the-scenes government or military use for parts of the facility. It's a massive hub, and it makes sense that there could be some strategic purpose woven in there. So while the more out there theories might be fun to speculate about, a more grounded possibility like secretive government operations could definitely be at play. It keeps that aura of mystery alive without needing to go full sci-fi.
Yeah, and I mean the PR team, they're in an interesting spot as well because I feel like they've kind of done the old classic case of, hey, it's just hiding in plain sight mentality, or maybe the disinformation tactic is there just to make the whole thing seem absurd.
Yeah, they've played it smart. By leaning into the absurdity and embracing the rumors, they've turned what could have been a PR nightmare into a branding goldmine. It keeps the airport in the spotlight and ensures that people are always talking about it. The whole hiding in plain sight strategy makes it even more intriguing because it blurs the line between what's real and what's just part of the fun. It's a clever way to keep the mystery alive and the conversation going.
It is a blurry line, indeed. So, I mean, this leaves me kind of being like, are these just coincidences? Or is the Denver International Airport truly the epicenter of a global conspiracy? Maybe next time, Luther, or anybody listening, you're stuck on a layover, start to take a closer look at those murals. Don't be surprised if you see a secret door that wasn't there before.
Exactly. The beauty of the Denver International Airport is that it keeps you wondering. Whether it's just a series of coincidences or something more, it definitely makes for a memorable experience. And who knows, maybe that next layover or casual stroll through the terminal will reveal something new. After all, it's the mystery that makes it all so captivating. Thanks for diving into this with me. It's been a blast.
It has been a blast. So finish up. your Lucifer conspiracy cocktails, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your day, your week, your month, and even your year. We'll be back next week for another episode. And as always, if you have a recommendation, something you want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. We would love to dig deep into it.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We had a blast unraveling the mysteries, and we can't wait to dive into whatever you want us to explore next. Until then, keep your eyes open and your minds curious. See you next time.
See you next time, everybody. This has been the Triple T Podcast. We'll be back next week. Take care, everybody.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
It's a last minute guy here. Who's going to get the last word in? It's going to be me. Bye-bye.